Well, good morning and welcome back to Mondello Park for this round 3 of the 2022 Digital Motorsports ICCR. We've got a packed program here today. We're streaming every race today from Mondello Park, and as you can see beside me, the Zetec safety Fiesta Z-Techs are already out there. As ever, record-breaking grids from that budget saloon car class. 32 cars, I think, out today. Johnny Whelan on pole position. We'll be going live to that race shortly, but don't go anywhere after that because we've got the Coffee to Go Fiesta St Championship. We've got Finstown Castle and Gaswise Formula Boss, Selco.ie Formula V on the live stream for the first time this year. We've got Legends back out. Everything has at least 2 races. Legends have 3 races. So plenty of action here today on the Digital Motorsports ICCR stream from Mondello Park. Fiesta Z-Techs for the 2nd year in a row, and good job by them. The cars look immaculate and the grids are just getting bigger and bigger. Mondello had to increase the licence, in fact, in conjunction with Motorsport Ireland, to have a maximum amount of saloons race at one time on the national circuit. It's gone up now. They can qualify 40 and race, I think, 34 or 36. I think we've got 31 or 32 out there today. I've got a few new additions. Johnny Whelan, massively experienced on pole position. He was covered in controversy the last day, but he still got a win. Very, very quick driver, as quick as anyone in a tin top around Mondello Park. Johnny Whelan, huge history here. Lived in Naas for many, many years, not too far away now. He's going to start on pole position. Alongside him is Michael Barrable. They were on the front row the last time, you may have seen it. So as we said, it's Michael Barrable on the outside the front row. Then it's Alan Dawson in the beautifully prepared number 48 Sheds Direct car. Then number 7 is Phil Lawless, local Mondello man, going nicely. Then it's Owen Murray from Murray Motorsport coming out for a bit of fun in one of the Murray Motorsport Z-Techs, the Fish Graphics and Murray Motorsport car. Then it's Andy Dawson in the Miles Plus car, Keith Dawson right back. Then Niall Murray, multiple champion and multiple festival winner in Formula 4, very, very quick driver. Collie Barrable, Keith Rabbit right in there. Amy Woods, the Dromiskin lady, in there too. Sean and Siobhan, big hello to them if they're watching this one, and I'm sure they are. She's in the Shaky Bills car there. You can't miss it. The colours of the town, black and white. Alongside her is the fastest of the rookies, is James Byrne. Then all the rest, will name check them as they get going, but there's a massive grid of cars, as you can see on the screen, right up at the back, still gridding them, whereas Johnny and Michael Barrable on the front row have been there for a few minutes. They're getting ready to go. The 5-second board is up, the red lights are on, and away they go. And Barrable gets a cracking start from the outside the front row, just about gets ahead. They move across, and they're going to touch again like last time. They're very, very close, going under the BMW bridge. Oh, Johnny Whelan's not giving away. Oh, very aggressive stuff once again from Johnny Whelan, just pushing Michael Barrable out of the way, and that leaves the door open for Alan Dawson to slice down the inside of the Sheds Direct cars. Another hugely experienced driver is Dawson. Fish Graphics off on the outside. There's a little bit of contact there, but I think we're all still going. It's Whelan who leads, and he's not going to hand that one away too easily. Alan Dawson now up to 2nd place, car number 48. Then it's Michael Barrable, the current champion and the reigning championship leader, and then it's Niall Murray out of nowhere. So Niall Murray absolutely flying in the blue car. Right on his back bumper is that's Phil Lawless. Then it's Owen Murray, then Keith Dawson, then all the rest. And I think there are cars spinning in the background. Waves, yellows. Look at that in the centre of the screen. Few cars. Somebody went off there. That is Kelsey Kirby and Chloe Kellett. The two ladies have come together there, and there's a lot of damage to the front of Chloe Kellett's car. That may give us a red flag, ladies and gents, because I don't think that car's going to move too easily. Yeah, there's a lot of damage to the front of Chloe's car. She's fine in the car. Look at Niall Murray defending up the inside. A big stab from Phil Lawless down the inside. Out of my way, I want to get to the leaders, says Lawless. But the red flags, are they out? Not just yet. The decisions are being made below us here. Maybe they can clear it down there. We're not sure. There's a yellow. Is it going to be safety car perhaps? We'll have to wait and see. But meanwhile, Alan Dawson looking down the inside. No, safety car. Safety car is out. And Johnny Whelan had seen that one and slowed right down. So car number 2 leads this one, Johnny Whelan. A hectic first lap as ever from the budget tin tops. They're being very well policed lately, and that makes them very close. There's no advantage in a straight line, and that just gives us a lot of drama when they're on the opening lap sorting themselves out. That's Amy Woods right at the back. She must have been involved in some of that, or had a quick spin, or maybe went off in avoidance. So we'll be missing a couple of cars when we get this one going again, but red flag is now out, so they're going to just stop the race quickly while they remove those cars from the track down at turn 3. Probably could do it under safety car if they were anywhere else, but that's a very, very fast section of track. The cars just come through there in third gear, and then hard on the brakes in the straight line, just where they are now, down to second gear. In fact, the marshals and rescue crew doing a brilliant job. They're there already. They've separated the cars. They're absolutely fine. Both drivers are out of the car, I think, so all good. Just being checked over there. So the cars will regroup and come back to the grid here at Mondello Park, and then we will get those cars there. Technical policing by the technical team to ensure that these cars are compliant to the regs and all equal. It works out really well. They even use a speed gun, a radar type speed gun, to ensure that the cars are pretty much equal in a straight line. And there's Mickey Larkin just heading out there, and Emma Dempsey, and removing that bumper. The officials have allowed them onto the grid. Great stuff. So they'll just remove the dangling bumper from Amy Wood's car. And once they get that off, she'll be absolutely fine. It won't make any difference to the performance of the car. It's just that it was dragging on the ground a little bit. So that's Sabrina Larkin in there as well. So great team. They will get that off surely. So we've got a few more minutes while they repair Amy Wood's car and then regrid some of the cars at the back and then have a warm-up lap. So we're going to have a short commercial break, and we'll be back to you with the first race of the day in just a few minutes' time here at the ICCR at Mondello Park.
Well, we've only just announced it, but everybody is talking about this car behind me. It's the Junior Mini Challenge for the ICCR here at Mondello Park. An exciting new saloon car series from 14 to 17-year-old drivers. Lift off, oversteer, bumper to bumper racing. We're going to have it all this year at Mondello Park. It's the new Junior Mini Challenge.
Square left onto the Yeah, that's good. Good driving. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Rev it up, rev it up. Go again. Go, go, go. One right, immediately followed by a 5 right. Keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. Come on, keep on, keep on, keep on. Keep on, keep on, keep on. Come on, come on, keep going, keep going, keep going.
The officials holding up a sign there. I think is that a start engine sign we just showed to the it's stop engines. It's stop engines. There's going to be a few more minutes. They're just towing one car in the back gate, the Chloe Kellett car, see behind me. So they just tell them to knock them off. Good idea in this weather. I'd say it's very, very warm out there now. So as we said, it's Johnny Whelan going to be on pole position. You can see all the team members down there. That's Joe Murray from Murray Motorsport having a quick chat with Robert Whelan. And then in the background, that's Rob Barrable just having a quick chat with his dad, Michael. Rob won 2 Legends races here yesterday, and he's just going to have a quick chat with Alan Dawson. Now, he'll be back out. Legends are back out happily here today to give us more entertainment. And Formula V, the Selco.ie Formula Vs are here on the live stream for the first time in 2022, and Formula Vs have given us fantastic racing in 2022. Proper, hard, close single-seater racing. We'll see that later on today. I was watching qualifying this morning and it's really, really close. So that'll be a good one. So we should be ready to go in a few minutes' time. There wouldn't be any problem. That's a beautiful shot there from the final corner, looking down from Southside Motor Factory's corner. You can see the M-Town Bridge, and in fact Max's corner right down the start, newly renamed corner at Mondello Park. We had a day out here for the Max's electric vans recently, and all the fleet companies came down and drove them down at Mondello Park, and a great event. Great to have them on board with us here at Mondello Park. Corp 2 will be renamed with a two-day event that weekend, and lots of stuff happening. A lot of old drivers. Social event, period dress being encouraged, so flat caps and stuff like that. There's going to be some live music. There's a gin bar, whiskey bar, loads of different attractions. The Chain Gang, Fraser Nash's are over. They're pre-war race cars, well, road legal race cars that were actually chain driven, and they race at Goodwood, race at all the top classic meetings, and we've got a lot of those cars coming over. There's going to be an Irish Grand Prix. There's going to be a St. Bridget's Trophy. Have a look at that. The Carol Nash backed Mondello Park Historic Festival. It's going to be a really good event to be at, not just the racing, which should be good, but also some of the other stuff. And the pre-55s will be out, the HRCA, Future Classics, they all get a run in front of the crowds at that event as well, so it should be a great event. These drivers almost all with the doors open, very, very warm conditions for these drivers. One of them out of the car there in the background looks like Niall Murray. I think it is. Looks like he's heading back to the pit wall now. He's going around to have a chat with somebody. Few drivers out of the cars now. So Phil Lawless there, just out of view. You can just about, behind number 22, Michael Barrable, you can see Phil Lawless. That's him there, car number 7. Phil Lawless has got a big task today. He's got 4 races, because he's doing 2 Zetec races and 2 Fiesta ST races. And not really the weather for doing that this weekend, so Phil was a bit worried about that during the week. But he's a real hard charger, Phil, always great to watch, and he's on the second row of the grid. As we saw there, he's really up for a scrap today inside that first lap, so this should be very, very interesting. Michael Barrable on the right-hand side, that beautifully prepared MB Motors car. That's his own business out in Airside, North Dublin. He's leading the championship strongly, and he's quite good at doing this, and they run the car very well. They put a lot of thought into it. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Johnny Whelan, I don't think, is in the running, so Michael Barrable will be probably keen to get points and points and points. He's got a big lead in the championship. It's unlikely he'll lose the lead, but he'll want as many points as he can, but he won't be as hungry for a win maybe as he needs to be. That said, he never backs away from a scrap. He's very, very good in traffic. Row 2, Alan Dawson. Alan Dawson, known to have started racing mod sport cars back here in the late 80s, and went through GTs, Dunlop supercars, Strikers, Global GT Lights, Peugeot 205 GTI, 309 GTI in saloons. He's raced loads of different cars with huge success at Mondello Park, so he's a real Mondello man. Phil Lawless works here for a living, so he knows the track probably better than anybody. And then on the next row of the grid is Owen Murray, massively experienced, has won in many, many cars, raced in British touring cars. He's won an Alfa Romeo championship, an Italian or European Alfa Romeo championship back in the day. He's raced in loads of different saloon cars and won in pretty much everything. That's the Murray Motorsport car, the Dublin preparation specialist. And then alongside him, Andy Kavanagh. Andy Kavanagh started racing in Formula V back in the early 1990s, originally with a Story chassis and then moved on to a Shane chassis. He was actually involved in bringing in the Formula Shane class with David Shane, probably must be over 20 years ago. So again, a lot of us went away, got married, had a family, and is back and loves these Fiesta Zetechs and goes really well in them, as you can see. He's up there on row 3. Then Keith Dawson, a bit like his uncle Alan Dawson. Keith Dawson, massive experience. He's won a lot in Strikers, many, many different cars and championships. Very, very quick in Global GT Lights for years. He's back out, hadn't been racing for a few years, and he's back out in another of the Sheds Direct cars. Then Niall Murray, who was probably one of the quickest Formula 4 drivers in recent years, won something like 19 or 20 races, probably more inside one season. Won the Formula Ford Festival on multiple occasions. Out for a bit of fun today in a Zetec. Won't be happy with that qualifying, but he rocketed up through the grid inside a lap last time round. That's right in the centre of your screen, the dark blue car with the orange flashes over the headlights on row 4. And Collie Barrable next up, alongside him Keith Rabbit in the Rapco car. then Amy Woods, and they have managed to do that, so well done to Mickey, Sabrina Larkin and Emma Dempsey. You can see them there beside her. They managed to get that bumper off the car, so she'll be absolutely fine, won't affect the performance of the car at all. And then James Byrne alongside her in the Dent Magic car. Now he's been really quick. There is a rookie championship, a very closely fought rookie championship, and he is leading that one. In fact, he's had a maximum in all the rounds bar one, I think, when Eduardo Gonzaga managed to take a win, but he's looking very strong in that one. I think the green flag is about to be waved. Certainly, their marshals are happy down at turn 3. The cars have been moved to the inside of the track. There's the green flag, and we're off. This is not the race. This is the warm-up lap. You might tell that to Brian Matthews. He launched off the back of the grid there and had to hit the brakes. But yeah, 1 lap to get back up to temperature won't be an issue in today's temperature. Number 92 is worth a mention there. That's Eduardo Gonzaga. He's our Brazilian visitor. And the car beautifully prepared. He won Best Prepared Car for the Detailing Emporium award a prize at their car valeting supply company, and they award a prize at each race meeting, and he won it at the first race meeting for the best presented car. He's gone really well in the rookie championship. He's lying second to James Byrne, but he applied to the Ayrton Senna Foundation to run the image of Ayrton Senna on his car to celebrate the fact that it's 40 years since Ayrton Senna raced at Mondello Park this year. So Ayrton Senna raced at the Leinster Trophy meeting and won in an 82 Van Diemen in the Formula 4 2000 class here 40 years ago. And so you will see, if you see that car on circuit, you'll see a shot of Ayrton Senna and the Ayrton Senna Foundation, the official logo on the side of Eduardo Gonzaga's car. Very good guy, great, good team around him, very good on social media. A lot of English language students helping him out as well, so watch out for him. That multicoloured car just going by, Fish Graphics, usually right up the front. There was a lot of work done on that car during the week. During the last few weeks since the last race meeting. There was a little bit of damage. It's all fixed. Also a lot of new engine parts, new shocks. So they were trying to trace a misfire in the car. I'm not sure if they traced it or not, but certainly we don't expect to see Ian Fishburne in 20th place. He's normally top 3 or 4. So if that problem is sorted, whatever he had this morning, I didn't get to speak to him, you can expect that car number 37 to shoot up the grid as well. So here they come streaming down. Takes a while to grid them up, just so many of these cars. So Johnny Whelan right on his marks there. Barrable slightly further back. Alan Dawson could go forward a foot or two. But anyway, they're all lined up in the correct order, and that's the main thing. Z-Tech's ready to go. The Zetec safety class. And we're away. It's Barrable with a much better start. And this time he's more aggressive, and he slams across in front of Johnny Whelan. Take it out with that, Johnny. How do you like them apples, he says, as he goes down towards turn 1. And Johnny Whelan relegated to second place. Then it's Dawson. Then it's Lawless. Look at Niall Murray down the outside of everybody, including his brother on the brakes. And round the outside. That's bragging rights in Murray Motorsport for him on Monday morning. And Patch, the racing driver, going round the outside of somebody down in turn 1. But Barrable hangs on. He's already under pressure out front now from Johnny Whelan. Whelan very, very close. Bumper to bumper on the way down to turn 3. And Michael Barrable, great start straight across as he grabbed second gear and slammed the door shut, kicking up a little bit of dust on the inside. Great to see all these Z-Techs. Alan Dawson in third, Lawless fourth, Niall Murray next up. Then it's that's Andy Kavanagh. Then it's Owen Murray. Then Collie Barrable side by side with Keith Dawson and Keith Rabbit right in there too. So Michael Barrable, reigning champion, championship leader, number 22, out front once again. Great shot here as they come out of the S. It's Barrable centre of the road. He's not going to leave a gap up the inside for Johnny to have a stab. So Johnny Whelan up the outside, tries to get a later turn in order to get a better run onto the main straight. And again, into the back of Barrable at the apex there. So that doesn't get a run. He might have had a run there, but the impetus was gone once he made contact with the back of Barrable's car. So it's Barrable, Whelan, Dawson, Lawless, and all the rest come streaming through. Amy Wood's still going there. Whelan again down the outside. The years of experience in these first three drivers. They've been racing here for many years. Michael Barrable used to race in Formula Ford 1600s very competitively here in the 70s. Went off and had a successful rally career. Then came back in 1993 when the Fiat Uno Cup was here. A one-make series, very similar, in fact, in concept to these Fiestas. And he won that championship. And he won the Dunlop Sexton, the overall Irish Motorsport Award. So a hugely successful driver. Came out of retirement to join his two sons in a 6-hour Fiesta race. Liked it so much, decided to do a season and won the championship. And here he is now leading the championship once again. Amy Wood's getting a little bit of help from Caleb Shanley there, and somebody else off in the background. Looks like Mick Keogh down at turn 3. We saw him up at the top of the grass in the middle of the picture. Yeah, he looks like he's parking it up perhaps. We'll see if he gets going again. Phil Lawless now having a look at the back of Alan Dawson, who's beginning to crowd Johnny Whelan as Michael Barrable begins to inch away. You look at the Murray Motorsport cars behind this, and Niall Murray, is he going to leave the door open for Owen? I don't think so. Owen gets down the inside and brings Andy Kavanagh with him, and Niall Murray gets boxed out. So he has to tuck in behind Owen Murray now. You can see them in the background. Look at Niall Murray and Andy Kavanagh door to door. So as they go by, it's Michael Barrable with fastest lap. It's Johnny Whelan, Alan Dawson, Phil Lawless, Owen Murray now ahead of Niall Murray and Andy Kavanagh, Colin Barrable, Keith Dawson, Keith Rabbit. Then it's James Byrne, Keelan Noon, Amy Woods, Caleb Shanley, Richard Byrne, Ian Fishburne, Mark Johnson, Luke Noon, and the rest. And just beginning to inch away out front with a fastest lap of 11.9 is Michael Barrable. Johnny Whelan perhaps eased away slightly now from the pressures of Alan Dawson in third. Dawson very quick through the first apex and on the brakes into the second bit of turn 3. He's right up with Whelan again. Very good run round there. Lawless next up, then Owen Murray. Everybody using the curbs, some of them using a little bit more there. That's Keelan Noon, all the grass. Amy Woods decides she's going to have a slot down the inside. He just covers that as they come into the S, as we saw in the background there. Second, third and fourth looks like a battle's about to commence there, and Owen Murray trying to get a latch onto the back of that one. So great battles all the way down the grid as ever. Nobody having to go up the inside. They're all really got the elbows in and trying to just get a fine line, a good racing line out to the outside onto the curb and try and get a run at their competitor. This could be a quicker lap for Whelan. Is he closer to Barrable than he was? He is. Fastest lap, Johnny Whelan, 11.717, but it's only a tenth or two quicker than Barrable. So on the brakes and down into second gear, and he closes in a little bit more. So Barrable not getting away. Looked on the second lap as if he was going to, but not so much now. Amy Wood still trying to get by that car number 4, Keelan Noon. She's keen to get into the top 10. There's their last time round their lap, so you can compare them there. Owen Murray 11.7, as quick as Michael Barrable. Niall Murray slower on 12.3, but that includes the move where he was where those two cars got by him, so that will have dropped him back a bit. In fact, he's dropping back a bit from there, and Colin Barrable trying to get onto his tail now. Here comes Michael Barrable, inch perfect as ever, down into the S's. Then Whelan, Dawson, Lawless, Murray, Kavanagh, Niall Murray. It's our top 7. And Colin Barrable, Keith Dawson, and Keith Rabbit in the Rapco car, almost to look up the inside for Alan Dawson there. He certainly thought about it, and that'll cost him a bit of time. We'll let Lawless up the inside. Dawson, I think we had this last time. Shows closes the door very early. If Lawless had got a run there, that could have been nasty, but he hadn't. So Alan Dawson has it covered as they go by. And it's Murray on the outside now trying to get a run at both of them, but Lawless very late in the brakes just takes that back as they go down into Max's corner. All a little bit wide on the exit now. Amy Wood still on the attack there, locked onto the back bumper of number 4, Keelan Noon, with James Byrne just ahead of them both. James Byrne leading the rookies from Eduardo Gonzaga. Cole McLaughlin, I think, is the third of those, and then Zachary Bambrick. Up onto 3 wheels there for Phil Lawless as he tries to have a go there. It's all very crowded because this has brought Owen Murray and Andy Kavanagh right into the mix as Whelan begins to track down Barrable, and this has slowed Alan Dawson down a little bit because he's under attack now from Phil Lawless. Now it's Owen Murray. There'll be some quick lap times, I'd imagine, this time round. Whelan right out onto the curbs, exiting the S's there, really trying to get back. Somebody down the inside, Lawless again having a look. Murray doesn't do it on this occasion. There's Colin Barrable up the inside of Niall Murray in the background. In fact, Keith Dawson gets alongside as well. Interesting that Whelan doesn't tuck in behind Barrable on the main straight, stays on the outside, perhaps looking for cool air on a day like today, try and keep the engine temperature as low as he can. Down at turn 3, Barrable again kicks up that little bit of dust as he goes in over the curb on the inside. Still no moves in this. Lawless having to defend now and forget about Dawson for a minute as Owen Murray begins to crowd him. Out onto the main straight now shortly. Here they come up to the final corner. Barrable, a big lunge from Johnny Whelan down the inside. Barrable turns in, there's contact, a big understeer from both of them. Dawson might get Barrable as well. Well, that was a last minute lunge, perhaps kamikaze, I'm not sure, but Barrable certainly didn't see that coming on Johnny Whelan at all. Very much last and late breakers down the inside. Classic Mondello manoeuvre. Without Alan Dawson up into second place. Phil Lawless now down the inside. Barrable in danger of being boxed out here. They're heading for turn 2 next. He should be able to contain Lawless. Indeed he will. Down to turn 3 and Whelan the new leader. Dawson fancies a go in the lead though, doesn't he? Looks very good. Barrable in third place, wondering what happened. Then it's Lawless, then it's Owen Murray, and then it's Andy Kavanagh. So great stuff from Fiesta Zetec and a change to the lead. That final lap, that last lap, Johnny Whelan now leads. Pole man back in front. That certainly compromised Michael Barrable. Sent him out wide. So Barrable now finds himself in third place and keeping one eye on the mirror here because Phil Lawless is a good man for a lunge on the brakes as well up into the final corner. Look at him, Phil, having a quick look up the inside, but Barrable saw that coming and moved across to the inside. I'm not having that again, he says. Alan Dawson looking very racy now, beginning to move around in Johnny Whelan's mirrors. Bit of damage to the front of Johnny Whelan's car. Here's all the rest coming through. Amy Wood's still trying to get by, but can't find a way past number 4, Keelan Noon, but they both caught James Byrne. Whelan really has the car dancing on the brakes, and Lawless down the inside, locked up again and gets turned in. Lawless down the inside, so Owen Murray now door to door, and it's all going wrong for Michael Barrable. He's going backwards here. Just another place. Lawless, big lunge down the inside into Max's corner, down to second gear, a little bit of contact and he's up a place. And Andy Kavanagh now having a go at Owen Murray side by side at turn 3. Murray says no thank you, down the inside again and takes it back. So Dawson now hovering around behind Johnny Whelan for second place. Big gap back because of all the action, and Lawless up to third place now. Then Barrable, Owen Murray, Andy Kavanagh. Whelan under pressure here because once he's been unleashed, Alan Dawson looks like he's got loads of pace, closes right in, down to second gear, turns in and gets on the power, and both right out to the curb. Great to see this up at the corner. A few people watching up at that corner and plenty in the grandstand as they come down the main straight. This looks very good for Dawson as he begins to move around, just weave around a little bit in Johnny Whelan's mirrors. Sean Woods and Siobhan Woods will be watching this with interest because that's two of their former drivers in the Sean Woods racing team. So Sean could probably predict the outcome of this race. Johnny Whelan looking very calm and composed out front, whereas Alan Dawson is just beginning, you can see him beginning to feint to the left and right, just to let Johnny know he's there. I'm sure Johnny is fully aware of that. Whelan leads from Dawson, Lawless, Barrable, Murray, Kavanagh, Colin Barrable, Niall Murray, Keith Dawson and Keelan Noon rounds out the top 10. He's got ahead of James Byrne there. Owen Murray down the inside of Barrable. I'm not sure if there was contact in the background, but he certainly got down the inside of the second apex. There's Lawless at the bottom of the screen. We can't just see them now. Watch on the right hand side. Yeah, he has got by, and Kavanagh as well having a go. Michael Barrable from leading the race has fallen way back. He's very late in the brakes though, and fight starting back, just holds off Andy Kavanagh as they change gear and change direction, second gear into third gear. Michael Barrable will be adding up the championship points. So the first two have definitely made a break. It's Whelan from Dawson, then Lawless, Murray, and Kavanagh's got down the inside again of Michael Barrable. So Barrable just dropping back. I wonder, is he in bother here? Certainly not working out for Michael Barrable in car number 22. Niall Murray, Collie Barrable next up. Again, Whelan a little bit wide, and Alan Dawson probably a cleaner line off turn 1. He'd be hoping that'll make him a little bit quicker through turn 2. Up out of turn 3 now. Niall Murray's the next to pass Barrable. Barrable surely in problem. He doesn't leave the door open. He's known for his racecraft, so there's obviously some sort of a problem with that car. I'm not sure if it's braking, but he seems to be getting nailed on the brakes by everybody, which just does not normally happen. So it's damage limitation for him now, although he's back up there again. He seems to have got by Murray. So now it's in that order. It's Barrable, Michael, Barrable, Colley, then Niall Murray. A battle beginning to develop now from Owen Murray 31 and Phil Lawless number 7. Lawless goes defensive there on the way out of the final corner. Owen Murray lets the car run out to the outside to try and get a little bit more straight line speed. Pulls out and they're weaving at each other on the main straight, but Murray's car certainly looked a bit quicker there as they went by in a straight line. Not much in it, in fairness, as they get down, and Lawless goes back at him on the brakes, locks the inside line. He's not giving this one away without a fight. Just ahead of this thing that we're looking at now, and they're side by side in turn 2. There we go, just holding on as Lawless out front, and that leaves Murray out on the grass on the way out. He slows down, ran out of track. I wonder, is there a problem? Or is it just, did he lose a bit of speed? A brave move around the outside by Andy Kavanagh. Not quite enough though, and Murray goes back down the inside. Well, Phil Lawless was not giving that one away without a fight, and whatever slowed Murray at turn 2, he must have put a wheel off on the outside of turn 2, I think, on the exit. But Andy Kavanagh beginning to weave round behind him. Then it's Michael Barrable, Colley Barrable, Niall Murray and Alan Dawson. So great train of cars in this one. It's for 4th place, that battle. And there's the move down the inside for the lead. Alan Dawson down the inside, giving Johnny Whelan a taste of his own medicine. Onto the main straight now. Dawson side by side with Johnny Whelan. Great stuff. Alan Dawson giving Johnny Whelan a little bit of his own medicine with a late lunge. There's nothing in it in a straight line, and they're staying apart as they come down into the braking area. Dawson on the inside, Whelan on the outside, and Alan Dawson leads. Nothing Johnny Whelan can do about it. Tucks in behind him, cracking stuff, and they've stayed apart. Doesn't happen too often when Johnny Whelan's in the equation. But Alan Dawson just down the inside, down into second gear, cracking move. A classic Mondello manoeuvre, a late dive down the inside of Johnny Whelan into the final corner, and now the immaculate Sheds direct car leads this race for the first time. Johnny Whelan in second place, a gap back there well clear of everybody else. Then it's Phil Lawless in third, Owen Murray in fourth, Andy Kavanagh, Michael Barrable, Niall Murray, Colley Barrable, Keith Dawson and Keelan Noon rounding out the top 10. But this is the battle we're watching up front. Can Johnny Whelan do the same thing? He's looking like he's not going to drop back. He certainly has the pace. They change it to third gear here. Will Johnny try the same move, or will Alan Dawson go defensive? Well, there's your answer. Alan Dawson doesn't even take a racing line out of the S's. He's going to keep that door closed. So Whelan goes up the outside, gets on the brakes, gets turned in, tries to get on the bar early, right in up over that curb, trying to get up the inside, but Dawson covers it just about. This is great saloon car racing at Mondello Park at the Zetec Safety Fiesta Z-Techs. Whelan on the outside now, Dawson on the inside as they go into the M-Town BMW Bridge and down into Max's corner. And again, late on the brakes as Dawson goes right out to the outside. Nothing Johnny Whelan can do and just has to tuck in behind him. They're being very hard and clean here. It's great to see. Johnny Whelan tries to get a run at turn 2, and he has got a run at turn 2. He's almost alongside. He is alongside. Dawson gives him racing room. It's a drag race down to turn 3. Dawson has the inside and should be able to take this back. They are showing each other a lot of respect here, and it's great to watch. And Dawson takes it back on the brakes down into turn 3. Well, that was great stuff, side by side through turn 2. Turn 2 is completely flat out in a Z-Tech Fiesta. You don't lift, you don't brake, you just keep the throttle planted, and you need all the track. So to see two cars going through there side by side without making contact is always good to see. We're on the final lap, which is a little bit of a shame, I think. Getting excited about that one. This is absolutely fantastic to see. Yeah, the checkered flag is being prepared, and Alan Dawson looks like it's going to be his first win this year, and he defends heavily again, but Whelan says it's not over just yet. Whelan down the outside, he's later on the brakes, down to second gear, he's looking to get that run again up the inside. Dawson defends, Whelan goes to the outside, and now it's a drag race to the line, and Whelan has got the run. They're door to door. Dawson on the inside, Whelan on the outside. Whelan's got the nose ahead, or has he, as they come across the line? He has. Johnny Whelan takes the win from Alan Dawson. Incredible stuff. Phil Lawless is third. What a race, ladies and gents. Owen Murray, Andy Kavanagh, Colley Barrable, Michael Barrable, Niall Murray, Keith Dawson and Keelan Noon. Well, the excitement, I wonder will my voice last the afternoon. Absolutely fantastic racing between those guys, and you've got to feel a little bit sorry for Alan Dawson, but what happened there, he defended the inside. Johnny Whelan let the car run round the outside. Sean Woods will appreciate that. A lot of racecraft in what happened at the last corner. And Johnny Whelan just carried that momentum. The two cars are so equally matched, and it was just enough to get his transponder to the line ahead of Alan Dawson's. That was a fantastic motor race. Well done, Johnny Whelan. Alan Dawson second, Phil Lawless third, and Owen Murray in fourth place. Well, there you go. ICCR 2022, ladies and gents. So the cars coming in now to the scrutiny area, what will happen is you can see one or two of the cars will be brought in, there'll be weighed, technical checks done. We do this quite often in the class. Great to see it, and wonderful racing. But they're back out racing again later on this afternoon. So while those cars are being checked and the next grid are getting ready to come out, that'll be Irish Legends. We're going to take a quick break here on the ICCR.
Every day is a chance to make this world your own. Just watch out for those you share it with. My world, my station, my music.
Square left onto the Yeah, that's good. Good driving. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Rev it up, rev it up. George, go, go, go. One right, immediately followed by a 5 right. Keep it left, keep it left, keep it left. Come on, come on, keep on, keep on. Keep on, keep on, keep on. Come on, come on, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Well, we've only just announced it, but everybody is talking about this car behind me. It's the Junior Mini Challenge for the ICCR here at Mondello Park. An exciting new saloon car series from 14 to 17-year-old drivers. Lift off, oversteer, bumper to bumper racing. We're going to have it all this year at Mondello Park. It's the new Junior Mini Challenge.
Well, we're back, and as Joe Duffy would say, my screens are lighting up. It seems people out there enjoyed that race. Everybody's phone is hopping here. Very exciting stuff. We did say at the start of the race that there were drivers in there with years of experience, and we saw it in use there, because you saw Alan Dawson, how he got up to the lead. Johnny Whelan, that incredible move to take it back out of the final corner and on the run to the line. So great stuff from the Fiestas. They're still down there in Parc Ferme getting their technical checks done, but they will be back out on track, as we said, later on. There they are, down there, and we lost 2 or 3 cars on lap 1. I don't think we lost any more beyond that. Perhaps Mick Keogh's car, but hopefully we'll see that one out later on. Or is it back there? I'm not sure. Hopefully it's okay. Anyway, we'll check that later on. We will be back out in the grid with the Siltec Safety Fiesta Z-Techs again on the programme today. They have double headers every weekend. They're an inexpensive car to run. If you're thinking of getting into saloon car racing, you could do worse than have a look at them. That's the BMW Ireland safety car. It's a BMW M3 competition spec, incredibly fast car. You can drive that car yourself here at Mondello Park. Have a look at mondellopark.ie on the driving experience. That's one of the M cars we have, one of many M cars we have down here. And you can also drive a Ferrari, as you've seen in the ads just now. In fact, if you saw the instructor in the Ford Focus and the rally thrill experience there, go on, faster, faster. That was Phil Lawless that we've just seen in the Z-Tech race. He's obviously an instructor. He works down here, highly qualified. So that was him in the passenger seat of the Ford Focus. So not only can you see him in the action on track, you can see him in the ads between the races. So our starter just getting ready to. He's waiting for the next grid to come down, and that'll be the Legends for their first race of the day. Now they had 3 races yesterday, and they really did give us fantastic entertainment. The way the Legends work is they pick a grid randomly, and then they move it round 3 times during the day. So if you start at the front in the first race, you'll start at the back of the second race, and the middle for the third race. So everyone gets an equal opportunity, for want of a better description. Here they come, motorbike engine, great sound effects from these cars. 2/3 scale replica bodies of old American Ford cars, Chevys. And the drivers absolutely love them. Paul O'Brien, POB Racing, runs almost all of these cars. That's his business now, and he runs them really well. The cars are all immaculate. His team looks superb. They're presented well. The area they have on the paddock, it's like a Legends Village. Each car has its own awning, colour-coded. We'll probably get a shot of that at some stage from the top of the tower. Colour-coded to the car, and the cars parking on them. It's just run really, really well. It's a credit to him, and the class has just grown as a result. The guys absolutely love them. Peter Barable, the Richardsons, all these guys. Peter Barable's here today with us, but he's not racing. He's a problem with his back. Also has first baby due in the next week or so, so we're wishing him very best with both the back and the baby. There's his car, and that's his brother Rob Barable driving it, car number 22. Son of Michael Barable, who we just saw in the Fiesta Zetec race. As you can hear, they sound a little bit different to the Zetec's, don't they? Motorbike engines, great sound effects as they head down towards turn 1. So the cars use a treaded tyre, a very hard compound tyre, so they don't have that much grip. The idea of that is that you really do have to drive these cars with the throttle as much as with the steering wheel. There is a lot of driving involved in them. You've got to balance the car on them. They don't have a diff either, so you've got to turn them in. A lot of novel approaches to getting them turned in. You can slow them right down and use the throttle to turn them in. You can try and flick them in, but definitely there's a little bit of an art to driving these cars. The other thing that we always talk about is that you can see they've got flat bumpers front and back. They do a thing called bump drafting, which might be frowned upon in some other classes, but it's allowed and accepted worldwide in Legends. They push each other a little bit, so if they get a slipstream, they don't lift off. So you can work together with somebody and you can help them. You'll see it in the race. You might see the Richardsons doing it, the 2 brothers together. You used to see the Barables doing it sometimes. If somebody's getting away and they're running on their own, you can catch them by bump drafting sometimes. So Seamus Ryan going to start this one. It's a rolling start, so we won't be stopping here in the grid. If they're in grid order, and it looks like they are, the starter's happy, he'll let them go. It's Seamus Ryan on pole. Watch out for the Yamamoto there with a swing to the outside. Number 1 with a good run there is Jeff Richardson down the inside, that green and black car. And he's looking at that gap for the inside. He gets locked up, a big drift round the outside. Goes Rob Barable, 22. Very easy to see that car. Yamamoto having a look round the outside as well. Derek Hogan at the back in this one. Very distinctive car, the Pink Panther. But Seamus Ryan is leading this one. Is it going to be Barable or Richardson who emerges first of that group? I think Richardson's up to second place. Very, very much a danger man here. Jeff Richardson, car number 1. Look at Barable trying round the outside of Yamamoto at turn 3. Doesn't make it on this occasion, just drifts that car. That's what we're speaking about, driving the cars on the throttle Great battles all the way down the grid, and Richardson wants to get into the lead straight away, and he slices down the inside. A little bit of grass, a little bit of tarmac. Oh, but he turns the lead around and tangles and barrels through, and there's more contact again. 3 cars off, 1 gets away. They're robust little cars, though they should be okay. Rob Barrable will have that trademark smile coming up the hill now as he's hard on the brakes. Yamamoto now, and Ryan almost contacting there. Is that Ryan on the inside? I think it is. Switch back from Yamamoto's, the switcheroo there coming out of Southside corner. It doesn't quite work at this stage for him. That, in fact, is Greg Richardson that is in second place, that's battling with Yamamoto. Rob Barrable there, a bit like Johnny Whelan, turning that car in on the brakes. You can see him rotating, but the red flags are out. Bad news for Rob Barrable. The red flags are out, the race has been stopped. That's because 2 of those cars are still parked down at the S's there. They've just intertangled a little bit, I think. And that is it Lee Malone and Colin Hamill, perhaps? I think it is. Yeah, it is. You can just see the tops of the cars there. One of the Z-Techs still there as well. The red flags are out, the race will be stopped. Smartest thing to do, just get the cars down to the grid until they get them moved. So all the cars streaming around. Here's a replay. Let's have a look at what happened. Look at Barrable locking up. Barrable's down the inside and up to second. The 2 leaders just a little bit. I'm not sure if that was intentional by anybody, but they both driven wide, and a big lock up there and straight into the side. Is that Hamill? It's Lee Malone, in fact, and up onto the side of Richardson, who gives it gears and gets away. So 2 of the cars involved in that one did get away. The driver's absolutely fine and out. The rescue team are over there. And the drivers are pushing the cars back. They're keen to get going again, but as we said, they're robust little cars. They don't tend to take wheels off when they've got a shunt. So the drivers were keen to join in again. Although one of them, looking at the front steering there, he may have knocked the tracking out or bent the steering. We're not sure. So here comes Rob Barrable, wondering does he have to go back to his original grid slot, hoping he doesn't. But the Richardsons, the Jeff and Greg Richardson are massively experienced, as is Rob Barrable. So they're more experienced, a lot more experienced than the other drivers on the grid. So they tend to come charging up through the grid, and they do most of their work in the first lap or 2. If you're coming from a lowly grid position, you really have to hang it around the outside. You don't pass 1 car, you pass 2 or 3 at a time. You've got to do it. You've got to get up there. If one of the Richardsons doesn't get up there, Barrable will do it, vice versa. We saw it all here yesterday in 3 races. Rob Barrable won 2 of them, and Greg Richardson won the 3rd. So we'll be expecting something similar today, and the cars all do a great job there. That's Barry Swan and John Rock in the Mazda pickup unit, getting the cars back in the Marshalls, doing a great job as ever. The Orange Army here at Mondello Park, they're on the scene, as we always say at Mondello, almost before the accident happens. They're a very knowledgeable and enthusiastic crew here at Mondello Park. They do a great job, and we're lucky to have them. So the grid marshal having a look and a quick chat with them just to let them know what's happening as they're sitting on the grid. So the safety car moving back to the front again, because obviously it's a rolling start, so they will have to be led around again. Safety car is in radio contact with the officials in the tower here at Mondello Park at all times. So when they're coming up the hill, when they've got the cars rolling up the hill towards Southside Motor Factory's corner, they'll decide jointly whether or not they're happy with the cars behind them, whether they're in grid formation. If they are, the driver will be instructed to turn off the flashing lights and to pull into the pit lane. I think that's Declan Nolan driving the safety car today. He generally does at these ICCR meetings, well known to us from Rallycross. Some of the photographers getting a chance to get some shots. The cars on the grid. one mechanic tending to a car right at the back, Derek Hogan, I think. Quick inspection of the car up front. The driver just worried about the front left, it looks like. We should be ready to go in just a few minutes' time. In fact, I can see out the window that the car is being removed. It's up on the teleporter, so that's the second car is already being removed. So apologies for this short delay, but we should be back racing here at Mondello Park very, very shortly. Marshall, there's the car coming back in, and that's the second of the two cars, so absolutely fine. We should be good to go. Marshall's just giving the track a quick sweep in the background, and then these cars will be ready to go once again. And then Rob Barrable is back to where he started, so 0 to 0, unfortunately for Rob. Look at that, you can see him almost down towards the back on the right hand side. They're very easy to spot. There's a board being held up to start their engines. Thumbs up from Rob Barrable there. We can see the hand coming out the window. There's the marshals doing a great job. They are on radio contact as well, so they'll be told we're ready to go, guys. Great stuff. Thanks very much to the marshals for clearing that up so quickly. Starter's ready with the green flag, and we should be good to go. So the legends are away. You can hear them before you can see them. They're down at Max's corner already. Around the long right-hander. Shell corner originally at Mondello Park. Turn 2 was BOAC, or BOAC as some of the drivers still call it. Heading down towards turn 3, up over a crest on this, the one all the drivers talk about. Double apex right-hander, very quick through the first apex there, and then it's hard on the brakes and down through the gears in every car, and try and get a tidy turn in here to get a run up the hill. It's crucial because you've got an uphill run as well. Leads you down into the S's, which is a long off camber left-hand corner. If it's wet or greasy, you can get dragged out wide if you lock a wheel there very easily. You'll see at the moment this corner here is off camber. It means the road slopes the wrong way as opposed to being banked, so you can see you can go out wide there very, very easily. So plenty of different lines always used around here. Then you stay in as tight as you can to that curb, the green and white curb on the left, and stay in tight before turning right to the second bit of the S's, which is flat in almost all but the fastest cars here at Mondello Park. That corner there, you'd see the boss cars maybe give a little lift through there, some of the really quick single-seaters, some of the quickest in the saloons perhaps, but it's certainly in the likes of the Z-Tech Fiestas and STs, it's flat out in third gear using every inch of the track. Safety car is in, that means we're good to go. Race control are happy. So here they come back down towards us for the second time, and Rob Barrable's got it all to do again. But remember that Jeff Richardson is further up the grid than him. He's on the third row on the inside, almost hidden. See the green cab there, of that green and black car. So watch him and watch Barrable in the Daedalo yellow car. They're going and they're away. Barrable goes to the inside this time instead of outside. And tucking in very early, so Barrable being a little bit more, a little bit less aggressive this time round, but he does make up a number of places as they head out of turn 1 down towards turn 2. Still Ryan leading this one, but Richardson already up to second place and looking good. Richardson with a great turn of speed as they head down towards turn 3. He's looking for a gap already. Yamamoto up the inside for third place. Good stuff. And it's Jeff Richardson down the inside to join him. So somebody being sent wide. That's Ryan, I think. And they come down into the S's. Richardson still looking for that gap, but not getting it this time around, perhaps being a little bit more circumspect. This time, no, he's not, because he slices it up the inside. Not a conventional overtaking place at Mondello Park, but he probably knows he needs to look over his shoulder for his brother and for Rob Barrable. He uses a conventional one this time. He must have been watching the Fiesta race. He launches it down the inside and takes the move at Southside Motor Factory's corner and takes the lead. 16 there with a wheel off on the outside. That's Gordon Brown. Side by side now with Yamamoto. Barrable all on his own on the outside. Watch how late Barrable goes on the brakes. The car moving around under him, and he gets by two of them on the outside and slots in to third place. I was going to say Michael Barrable, Robert Barrable there, last of the late breakers. It really has the car dancing under him and gets another place on the way out of turn 2. He's up to second place now, but the gap is big. We saw this yesterday. And in fact, is that Greg Richardson coming with him? Yamamoto not having any of it though. Brave stuff from Yamamoto around the outside of turn 3 and tries to hang on there, but a little bit of a slide drops him back into the clutches of 16 Gordon Brown. They're side by side now on the way to the S's. So it's all about the stopwatch of the 2 leaders from here on in. Rob Barrable is going to have to go some to close that gap to Jeff Richardson, who's now leading. Gordon Brown still side by side. Yamamoto still brave around the outside of the S's. He's on form today, isn't he, David Yamamoto? Barrable already a little bit closer, I think. And Yamamoto again down the outside of the brakes, locks a wheel, goes a little wide though. That should allow Gordon Brown alongside and puts a wheel off. He's on the edge today. Still side by side. No, now slots in behind Gordon Brown as they go by us. So it's Richardson, Barrable, Greg Richardson, Gordon Brown, David Yamamoto, Anthony Malone, Seamus Ryan, Richard Spence, Derek Hogan, Kieran Bergen, Gary Humphreys. The running order in this one, so great battles all the way down the field. Yeah, Barrable definitely closer there. The gap was already under a second when they crossed by us, but he was very strong yesterday. He looks strong today, but as we said, catching is one thing, getting by is another. These 2 guys very, very quick and equally experienced, and he hasn't quite got up to him just yet. Hanging the tail out just a little bit as he stands on the power up out of turn 3. Rob Barrable hasn't raced this year until this weekend. He's been away rallying, but he certainly hasn't lost anything. He's very, very quick here and has that car dancing underneath him. Come the leaders again, not quite close enough to have a go. And Rob Barrable does it. You can see the car moving around on the brakes, very Formula Ford-esque, almost like he's got the brakes dialed to the back a little bit. The car dances around when he goes really late on the brakes. Barrable on a charge here and gets fastest lap that time round, 103.1, 2/10 quicker than the leader. Again tries to close him out on the brakes, both pushing very, very hard. Richardson a little bit sideways on the way as he stands on the power. Barrable just inching closer and closer, but there's very little in it in terms of pace, but there is going to be a battle, I feel, at the front of this one very shortly. Barrable again gets that run on the way down to turn 3 through the first apex, then on the brakes. That's 99, that's Scott Jackson with the Paul O'Brien team working on the car, trying to get it back out there. Richardson just kicking up a little bit of dust on the inside of the apex. Leaders coming down into the S's now, and 2 cars together off. That's 12 and 5 have come together. That's Kieran Bergen and Gary Humphreys, and they're parked up. There's waved yellows, but the leaders are coming up the hill now. They'll be arriving at this in just a minute. They're both very experienced. They both will know what yellow flags are, and in fact the cars are moving ahead of them now in the gravel trap, so the leaders have gone through that. Richardson now just holding off Barrable. It's a safety car. It is a safety car just when Barrable got the run. Safety car dispatched, and again that's a good decision. Look at the top of your picture. Look at the car in the gravel. Not a good place to park. You won't get that car out. It's beached in the gravel. It won't take long to remove it, but they will need probably a lap with the safety car. The marshals will be on that pretty quickly, or the snatch unit will be dispatched. The pickup truck driver wisely getting out of it and doing a runner. Gary Humphreys, not a good place to be parked, but you just can't get it out of there, so it will have to be removed. Yeah, it's the one of the Mazda snatch units being released from the back of the paddock and is already on the way up towards the scene of that incident. So they'll just hook that car up and tow it back into the pit lane, and we'll be ready to go racing again. So we'll probably get a lap behind the safety car, maybe 2. Depends how quickly they can get it out of there. I would suggest very, very quickly. They've been great at this all weekend. So here they come. So this gives does it give a stay of execution to Jeff Richardson, or was he comfy enough out front? Who knows? John Rock and Barry getting a lot of work to do today. Barry Swan. Remember, these guys are all in radio contact with the tower, so the tower will be saying to them, try and get out of there quickly and we'll slow the safety car down. Safety car will slow right down and not go by these if they can, but they probably will have to go by them once. This will be close enough. Marshall's holding the safety car board out once the drivers see that they know what the story is. Marshall's just saying, there you go. Hook up. I think, is that Ollie Dunnigan? Possibly. It is Ollie Dunnigan. Great to see Ollie down here again. He's been marshalling here for many, many years. You Google him and have a look. He's got a great story, and it's documented well by the ICCR guy. That's great work by the rescue crew and the marshals. Just get that car out of the way. They've gone over towards the rallycross track. They just get it into a safe area, and they probably unhitch it there. So fantastic. So we will have to do one more lap behind the safety car. Slightly increased pace, I'd imagine. Then the lights will go off, and we'll be going back racing. fact, they may have brought that car in the pit lane, so great stuff. Car fully recovered and back in the paddock. That means they'll be able to get it going for the next race because the Legends have 3 races today. Got one more race before lunch as well, so the coffee to go Fiesta STs will be out shortly. They're already in assembly area, but we've got a few more laps to run in this one. It's not all over just yet. Right, the lights are off on the safety car. Watch the roof. As soon as the lights go off, that's a signal to the drivers behind that the car is pulling in and we're going back racing. Then it's up to the leader to increase the pace whenever he wants, so expect some tactics here. Rob Barrable will be right on his bumper. He won't leave any gap there at all as they come back towards us. Richardson, Barrable, Richardson again, Brown, Yamamoto, Seamus Ryan, Anthony Malone, Derek Hogan, Richard Spence, Kieran Berg and Scott Jackson are getting ready to go racing. Barrable tries to get the run. Look at the back of the car squirming around. The two of them stand on the power. They're bumper to bumper. Barrable right in his wheel tracks. He pulls to the outside. Richardson stays to the inside, side by side under the bridge now. And Barrable's got the nose ahead. Look how late he is on the brakes. Opposite lock on the brakes for Barrable. Slots in behind him again on the way out of turn 1. Great stuff from these two up front. And Greg Richardson right with them as well, kicking up dust now, trying really hard at turn 2, all the track and the exit curb at turn 2. A run down the outside for Barrable now, has to back out of it there in the first apex. Back in behind him and looking to have another go as they get hard on the brakes for turn 2. They get right into the apex, get them turning. You see them getting on the throttle early. That's actually to pivot the car because, as we said, they don't have a diff, so it can be difficult. If you get that wrong, if you or I jumped into one of these cars, you'd think they understeered really badly. There's a tweak to actually getting them pivoted and getting them rotated and turned in. And these guys, as you can see, do it to absolute perfection. Here they are coming out of the S's now, right out over the curbs. Richardson and Barrable will be loving this. He goes straight to the inside. Barrable back to the outside. They were both watching the Fiestas. Barrable gets the run again, gets on the power a little bit earlier, I feel, and tries to get up the inside, but Richardson contains it. Barrable continues the run though, down the outside, and they're side by side. This time he's ahead as they start the next lap. Can Richardson come back at him on the brakes? I think he should be able to, but Barrable was ahead with the transponders and is showing us the leader on the screen in front of me here, but no, Richardson takes it back. The last of the late breakers down into turn 1. What great racing here today at Mondello Park, isn't it? It makes it easy to commentate on. And again, a run for Barrable off turn 2, and he's on the outside. Brave stuff at turn 3. Not really where you want to be in a Legend. They're not like the Fiestas. They haven't got that much grip. Fiestas tend to be a little bit overtired or over-gripped. These cars are designed to move around, and Barrable tries to get a switch back up out of turn 3. Isn't he piling the pressure on? But Richardson doesn't look like a man under pressure. He looks like he's relishing this one. Doesn't leave any gap down the inside into the S's. Bridgestone corner. A little bit wider than Barrable on the exit. Barrable should be slightly quicker perhaps through the next bit. He will try and get up the inside. Look at the body language of Richardson's car as he tries to coax it over to the right as quick as he can to defend. Barrable says, okay, I'll take the outside. And then switches back, or does he? No, both using all the full racing line. And Barrable says, I'll have a look at the inside. No, I'll have a look at the outside as they come down now and start another lap. This is a fantastic race from the Irish Legends. And Barrable again so late in the brakes. Look at that car moving around underneath them, but Richardson is not phased at all. Gets it turned in, and they're bumper to bumper once again on the exit. These two just easing away from the rest of the field. It's Jeff Richardson, Rob Barrable, Greg Richardson is in third, then Gordon Brown, Seamus Ryan just got ahead of David Yamamoto on that lap, then Anthony Malone, Derek Hogan, Richard Spence, Kieran Bergen and Scott Jackson is the order. And the checkered flag is being prepared. This is the last lap. Richardson a little bit wide, Barrable's not, he's in over the apex, he's sideways. A dab of opposite lock and he's still right with him, so 2 corners to go, well 3. Down into the S's, which is 2 really, a left and a right, and right in on the inside. I'm not letting you down there. In fact, I'm taking a little bit of grass, says Richardson. Barrable again, tighter on the left, which makes him a little bit quicker coming out. Richardson senses it and goes straight across to defend on the inside. Barrable up the outside again. So what Barrable's got to do is try and get that run down the outside, the Johnny Whelan style run if Richardson defends, but Richardson cleverly does not defend and carries the speed out. It's a drag race to the line, but I think it's going to be Richardson. What a great drive. Richardson just holds off Robert Barrable. Great racing between those two. Absolute joy to watch, and great racing from Irish Legends. Best seat in the house for Greg Richardson. He completes the podium in 3rd place. Gordon Brown, a good run to 4th for number 16, just ahead of Seamus Ryan. And then the entertainer in 6th place, David Yamamoto. And then Derek Hogan, a good run for him. He's improving a lot, Derek Hogan, the former Fiat racer in this class. Then Anthony Malone, Richard Spence and Kieran Bergen. And we will have Legends back out on track again twice more today on this live stream. So we'll get plenty more of that action. But that one was an absolute cracker. Round of applause from the marshals there. Great to see that. They really are. They're not just marshals, they're enthusiasts and they're very knowledgeable. They do appreciate a good race when they see it. So great to see them giving a round of applause. If you're racing and you see the marshals clapping their hands, you know you've done pretty well. And I think they all have. That really was great stuff. So plenty of action. That's a strong start from both of the races. Great entertainment from the Siltec Safety Z-Techs and now from the Irish Legends as they come back into the back gate of the paddock. They actually run round turn 3 to cool themselves down. They're air cooled, so they just want to get a bit of air through them and back into the paddock. They're all back towards that. Just on the left there is the start of that Paul O'Brien team, the POB that we saw. And there's great layout there. You can see all the different colour awnings along on the left and they match the separate cars. And in fact, when they're parked up overnight, they hang the names on them there. There's that bright pink car coming in there, 63, the Pink Panther. That's Derek Hogan that we spoke about. Starting to go very strongly. So great stuff. We're already getting ready to go with the next race. And here they go, the Coffee to Go Fiesta STs. Faster, more powerful, better suspension. The Fiesta STs, 2 litre, 150, 160 brake horsepower. And great cars to race. Now that car, the Coffee to Go car, is the class sponsor, but he's also the reigning champion. That's Graham McDonald. He moved up to the Seat Super Cup this year. He's had a win. He's going really well in that class. Just for fun, the Seats aren't out this weekend. He dusted off the Fiesta ST and he's put it up to all the class regulars. Stuck it on pole within 3 laps. Came in and sat in the pit lane this morning and watched them all going around. Now it's only by a fraction, so he's going to have a fight. But it's very, very impressive stuff. Barnes Auto House and that one, Garvey Crash Repairs, always beautifully turned out that car, and no exception today. Alongside him is going to be Michael Cullen, the Dick Dastardly of Irish saloon car racing. Michael Cullen, massively experienced, massively successful, and he has racecraft in spades. Michael Cullen very much back on form. He's had a tough season so far this year, but yesterday 2 strong wins in the Strikers, and the first race, great story, 1-2 with his son right behind him, Victor Cullen, who again is moving on and on and on in terms of experience, racecraft and crucially pace. Eddie Peterson has done most of the winning this year and has a strong lead in this championship, and he's third. He's not on the front row of the grid, which I don't think we've seen this year. Eddie Peterson almost puts it on the front row. In fact, he almost always puts it on pole this year. Then the young charger of the class, number 69, Max Turley, well worth watching. Really, really good to watch. Dave Maguire, another very experienced campaigner and a 3 times class champion. That's the red and white car, the Insure My Cars.ie car. Then the beautifully prepared, first of the privateers really, Trevor Ferrar looks after the car himself with his dad John, who's got great history here at Mondello Park. The Ferrar Motors and Parts for Cars car. That's the green and yellow car in the pit lane. Then Phil Lawless in the TSG Charge car, just been wrapped by Jay O'Reilly and the guys. Looks absolutely fantastic. Phil Lawless, who we saw out earlier in the Fiesta Z-Tech class going so well, now gets into for his second of 4 races. I'll just remind him because he's got the window down. He's got 4 races to do today, and this is only number 2. It's very, very warm out there. Then Victor Cullen, who has gone superbly and has had a podium in Fiesta STs. Didn't go as well as he would have expected, I would imagine, in qualifying, so watch for Victor. He'll be looking to move forward in the Beacon Medical and LOH car. Then it's Cian O'Brien, 555, the O'Brien Motorsport and Pro Tune car. Then it's Gordon Kellett, another massively experienced driver, Gordon Kellett. He's back there. Then I just haven't got a grid for these. I'll get them as I do as they go by. Then it's Gary Lynch, newcomer to the series, beautifully turned out car. Then Christopher Grimes Jr., who you'd normally be right up there. He had a great scrap with Victor Cullen here the last day. Comes from another motorsporting dynasty. Then Simon Dean, the Dean Motors cars. If you don't follow Dean Motors on social media, you should. They're a classic car dealership, Dublin based, and highly entertaining on social media. Then Christopher Grimes Sr., just getting used to these cars in the ex-Jack Byrne car, a man with a huge results in pedigree in auto testing and rallycross. So there you go, all very experienced, these drivers. I suppose Victor Cullen is the only one out there with limited experience. The rest of them are all, Cian O'Brien, the rest of them are all pretty experienced as they head out to the pit lane to start this next one. So this is their first of 2 races today at Mondello Park. The Coffee to Go Fiesta ST Championship. There's Phil Lawless flicking the car in, trying to get a bit of heat in the back tyres. That's crucial in a front-wheel drive car. You don't really want heat in the front tyres because they'll probably have had enough after 5 or 6 laps in this kind of weather. But cold rear tyres, generally at Mondello Park, because it's hairpin city, you set the car up quite taily at the back, quite loose at the back, which means that when you lift off, you get lift-off oversteer. The car goes into a slide, which is what you want. But early on cold tyres, that can catch you out. So you'll see some of the guys flicking the car and lifting off and trying to unsettle the back at low speed, trying to scrub the backs and get a little bit of heat into the back tyres. It's relatively easy to warm the fronts. You can weave around You can wheel spin, you can do brake, you can do whatever you want, but you need heat in the rear tyres in any front-wheel drive race car. You see it in the British touring cars and in TCRs. It's even more crucial in those cars because they have limited lock, so they don't want the back stepping out too far. But similar concept here at Mondello Park. Beacon Hospital Health Check, of course, partnering with us this year to allow us to do this live stream. Great stuff. We're really happy to have them on board. They've got new signage up at Mondello Park as well, just inside the gate and just at the next corner. So great to have the Beacon Hospital Health Check on board as they come up towards Southside Motor Factory's corner. So Mondello Park in fine form. Great job by the operations team. It looks very well. They've been cutting grass and painting lines and painting curbs. Painting curbs at Mondello Park is always a thankless task because they look absolutely mint until the first race meeting, and then they're just all marked up again before lunchtime because everybody uses them for exit corners, and quite a lot of the classes use them at the apex. So Graham McDonald now hasn't been in the ST since last year. 3 laps put him on pole this morning. Can he take the win? Watch out for Eddie Peterson on row 2. He's an auto tester and he's always very, very quick off the line. He's not just any auto tester. He's a 5 times champion in auto testing, but makes great starts always. When he was on the front row, he almost always leads. He'll be looking at that gap that we can see him through between Michael Cullen and Graham McDonald. Well, my phone is hopping. I've been told that's Dave Maguire Jr. in Dave Maguire's car. Well, same name. Apologies for that. He's done well, hasn't he? He's qualified well up. So Dave Maguire Jr. known for some sim racing. Oh, McDonald gets a belter of a start. Cullen tries to get in behind him. Can Cullen squeeze in there? Is Eddie Peterson going to get it? Looks like Peterson's going to drive up to him. He does. And Cullen's been boxed out. Max Turley fancies to go around the outside. And Michael Cullen gets boxed out by Eddie Peterson, who's right on the back bumper now, the leader, as they go through turn 2. Fantastic stuff. All clear through the first corner. Eddie Peterson taking a little bit of inside line. Oh, Max Turley and Cullen have come together, and around goes Max Turley. It's not the first time they have come together this season, and that was a rough one. Turley, it's big 360 around about what's known as the hole in the hedge in Rallycross, just halfway down the straight to turn 3. He's okay, but I wonder will the car restart? We may see, it's not a good place to park up, so we may see a safety car here or even a red flag. Let's see. Cullen's car, I'm sure, will have damage. That was heavy enough contact. Oh no, the TSG charge car of Phil Lawless being pushed back. I'm not sure what happened there. But let's see. We don't have any safety car just yet. Maybe Max Turley has got going. No, he hasn't. And we've got a unit out there. Oh, somebody up the inside on the grass. It's Dean again. Oh, we've seen that before. That was just, I'm not sure, cartoon-like manoeuvre there. Down the inside, up over the grass. 5th place. There's the Dean motor cars in the tyres up at the final corner. Okay, we're still running. That car must be well in off the track. We weren't sure from our camera angle, but if the officials are happy to run where it is, then it's in a safe place. Michael Cullen 3rd, Victor Cullen 4th, Trevor Farrar, Dave Maguire Jr. and Cian O'Brien 555. Cian O'Brien working so hard here yesterday. I don't know how he's the strength to drive an ST. Himself and his dad Mickey were working on all the junior minis here yesterday. They had engines out and clutches changed and so much work yesterday. They great scrap from the minis yesterday. Problems with 1 or 2 of the cars, and those boys fixed them all. So great stuff. Safety car is out. Thank you very much to the guys down there showing me the board. The safety car is out and has already been dispatched from the pit lane. So that's going to bunch them all back up again. And Max Turley's out of the car and he's fine, but I think they'd be happier if they towed that car in. The officials, I mean. So that, I would imagine, is what's going to happen. So the order: Graham McDonald, Eddie Peterson, Michael Cullen, Victor Cullen, Trevor Farrar, Dave Maguire Jr., Cian O'Brien, Christopher Grimes, Gordon Kellett, Gary Lynch, Christopher Grimes Sr., Philip Lawless, who's showing us in the pits still. Indeed he is. I can see him down there. And then we're missing, of course, Max Turley and Simon Dean, because Max Turley is there at the centre of your screen. Absolutely fine. I don't think that car is too bad. Maybe some bent suspension. It did a 360. It didn't contact with the bank, I don't think. Contact with another car initially. And then Simon Dean's car, which is up at the final corner. It should be absolutely fine if they pull that car out. In fact, the snatch unit is heading for Simon Dean's car. I suggest that might be the issue. Let's watch that one on a replay now. We're just getting that ready to go here. We'll be able to see that incident again and have a look at it. Great stuff. Here we go. He's already out of shape. If we could go back a bit further than that, I think the contact had already happened, but that car's really being bounced around there, wasn't it? Just coming backwards into shot. It was just before that, in fact, when they got together, as the pack came through turn 2, I think there was a little bit of contact. Red flags are now out. We're going to stop this one because they're going to have to get both those 2 cars back in, so it shouldn't take too long. So the safety car is still leading them around, but the red flags are now being shown. And in fact, the grid marshals are back out on the grid. So we'll regrid these cars up. We'll get those 2 cars in. It'll be ready pretty quick. And then we'll go racing again. And there'll be more entertainment from the Fiesta St Championship. Great to see the sponsor out front, isn't it? They say you should keep your sponsor happy, but he's out front there. And he's looking very strong in this one. We're looking for we're going to have a replay of that incident again just while we're waiting, so we'll just get the guys to line that one up. Great stuff from See It Live and the crew here. We really are getting to see everything, and we can go back now and do replays. Remember, they're still working on doing remote onboard coverage. We will have that before the end of the season. Martin is telling us, Martin Kavanagh. They just said there were problems with reception when we tested it the last time round, but imagine being able to go on board live while watching these races. It would be absolutely fantastic. As you can see, the paddock is packed here at Mondello Park. And here it is. Watch out for this one. This is the replay, guys. Watch out for Cullen there and Max Turley. Max Turley gets the run. They're door to door. There they are in the background. Turley's right in over the curb on the inside. A lot of dust. He gets out of shape. He's into Cullen on the outside. He's into Cullen again. Cullen gets shoved out over the curb. And Max Turley just crosses himself in front of Cullen. Well, it's very hard to tell from that angle. I can't make a call, but certainly it's. They look like they both had the elbows out there. I don't think that either of them were angels in that one. But that's not my decision. But great stuff to be able to watch it back. You make your own decision at home. Comment on the social media. Whose fault do you think that one was? What did they say? Comment below. So send us in a few messages and let us know what you think. Great coverage there for Dean Motors and Apex Surveys. Maybe that's why he does it regularly. It's great to see Simon Dean tries so hard. He's relatively inexperienced, but he certainly has no shortage of commitment. And as we said, if you don't follow Dean Motors on social media, do. You'll get a good giggle out of it. They are the kings of going around with no fuel in cars, proper motor traders, and driving classic cars every day of the week and working on them and selling them. Neil Kavanagh, of course, well known to us here at Mondello Park from racing minis for many years. He's joined them now and works on their social media as well. Says he's having a great time at the car. Let's have a look. Okay, well, there's a wheel missing, so we ignore everything I said about the car being absolutely fine. It's shoved right in a bit, so there's definitely front suspension damage. But he runs at Murray Motorsport, and they will definitely get that car back out. I'd be very surprised if they didn't for race 2. We'll see Max Turley at it again. So that puts Michael Cullen back up to the front row alongside Graham McDonald. I don't think he's going to make the same mistake again. However, McDonald made the initial start, and straight away Michael Cullen knew what was happening. He was leaning over to the right and waiting for that gap to slot in behind him. But Eddie Peterson had got a slightly better start than them both and was able to fill the gap as they went under the bridge. So there was a lot of stuff going on as they went down there. Michael Cullen really had no choice. There was no alternative. He had to try going down the outside. And that can leave you boxed out here at Mondello Park if you're on the outside down into turn 1. Especially if you're in a legend. You can lose so many places. But yeah, Simon Dean's car being towed back in. We should be ready to go racing very shortly here at Mondello Park. Just a bit of silence while I read some messages. They've been flooding in on my phone, and in fact, this is Dave McGuire Jr.'s first race, according to Owen Murray. I thought we'd had him at Mondello in a Fiesta Z-Tech before, but maybe not. Either way, it's very impressive stuff. I described it previously. If people starting to race in motor racing and going into Fiesta STs is a bit like learning to swim in a shark's pool, because they're all so experienced and real hard racers. So most people will race Z-Techs first or something else first before they come into STs. But Victor Cullen was straight in, as indeed is Dave McGuire Jr. in the InsureMyCars.ie car. Okay, so the grid is slightly different. Okay, we're going back to our running order, it looks like, because that puts Eddie Peterson and Peterson's cars like new car on the front row of the grid. That's crucial. Michael Cullen won't like that, but we're going back. That's what we do. We go back a lap, I think, from when the red flag flew in the race. So Eddie Peterson is a master at a standing start, but so apparently is Graham McDonald. So let's see who's going to get this one. Eddie Peterson be concentrating, well, won't they all, but he really will fancy his chances. He's always been able to get the nose ahead of anyone on the front row. That said, that was a cracking start the last time from 48, the Coffee to Go man, Graham McDonald. Graham McDonald owns Coffee to Go. They're a Dublin-based chain of coffee shops, as the name would suggest, and they've sponsored this championship for the last number of years. He heads away on his warm-up lap. Barnes Auto House also on that car. Two Beacon Medical cars looking well together. Churchtown Motor Company car of Christopher Grimes Jr. The rest are on and off the brakes and moving around when they get the cars ready. Oh yeah, confirmation just in there. He did the endurance race, that was it. So this is his first sprint race, or his first, well, almost wouldn't say proper motor race, but Dave McGuire Jr. has done the 6-hour race once. So very well known to us from sim racing though, very successful in that. Of course, Digital Motorsports are the title sponsor in a multi-year deal with the ICCR, and they're a world leader now in digital motorsports. Again, as their name would suggest, the clue is in the name. They're based both here in Mondello Park, where they have the VRA, the Virtual Race Academy, where you can come down here and receive training. If you're going to race anywhere around the world in any car, on any track, they can set this up here in their sim centre for you, so you will know the track when you get there, and you'll know the car when you get there. Then they've got a business space in Green Oak Industrial Estate, just off the N7, not too far from us here in Mondello Park, and just on the outskirts, just beyond the M50 from Dublin. And they've got some young and enthusiastic staff working there. They run a great business. It's going really well for them, and we're delighted as ever to have them on board. So Fiesta STs on their warm-up lap for the second time. A little bit of a different grid though this time. Victor Cullen probably the big winner on this one, as well as Eddie Peterson, because he didn't have a good qualifying, but he's fourth now. He starts in the second row alongside his dad. Away they go, and they match each other. Peterson slightly ahead. He closes the door. They're almost together. They are together. Opposite lock for Peterson. A little bit of a tank slapper, and they part ways. But McDonald has it. Oh, Cullen down the inside. If there's a gap, he's going to stick it in. That's exactly what he did. They're staying apart pretty much, though. There's a little bit of contact from the first two, and then Cullen and Peterson. But again, giving each other room at turn two. So this is interesting stuff, isn't it? Victor Cullen, grandstand seat for that one, of course. And Trevor Farrar, Dave McGuire Jr. in at the deep end for his first ever ST race and his second ever motor race. He's under attack from Cullen down the inside for second place, but goes wide. Peterson does the switcheroo and takes it back on the exit. So Michael Cullen just couldn't get it stopped. Great move down the inside. Peterson said, off you go. Didn't defend and then just switched back to the inside. Very calm and controlled driver, Eddie Peterson. But these boys are squabbling while the class sponsor on his return is getting away. Graham McDonald looking very strong here, and if Cullen goes at Peterson again, which I suspect he might, they will let him away, and he does. Cullen down the inside again of Eddie Peterson, and they're side by side. as they come out of Southside Motor Factory corners. But Peterson carries the speed around the outside. Oh, he's having to swerve to the inside. Cullen on maximum attack. Look at him sawing at the wheel here. And he gets alongside again. They stay apart. Cullen on the outside. Peterson on the inside. Michael Cullen really on form today. And Graham McDonald will be giggling away watching this in his rear view mirror. You scrap away, lads. I'm heading off. I'm going to take a win on my return to the class. The reigning champion, showing the boys how it's done. And he hasn't got that much advantage in terms of pace, but they're just getting caught up squabbling. It can happen, of course. But Eddie Peterson now trying to shake off Michael Cullen. Just leave me alone for one lap and we'll try and haul in Graham. But Michael Cullen is in very feisty form in the Beacon Hospital car at third place and really wants to have a go for second place as they come down into Bridgestone corner, into the S's. Cocking an inside rear wheel, the little STs there, the Yokohama tyres. Plenty of grip in these early stages. Third gear then and flat out, right out to the exit curb here. There you go, look at that, using curb. Victor Cullen out onto the curbs there. Graham McDonald, nobody bothering him, and another lunge from Michael Cullen, and they both lock up a little bit. Eddie Peterson really is going to overheat his mirrors here, keeping an eye out for Michael Cullen. Cullen having a real go, and it's Victor Cullen, Trevor Farrar, David Maguire Jr., isn't he going nicely? And it's Christopher Grimes. No, it's not. It's Keane O'Brien up a place, 5.55. So he's got ahead of Christopher Grimes Jr. Here he is on the right-hand side. Then it's Gordon Kellett in the middle of that one, and then it's Gary Lynch. So once again, McDonald getting away. Fastest lap, no surprise there. 5.9 already for him. So absolutely getting away, like strongly getting away now, Graham McDonald. He was 1.4 seconds ahead when they crossed the line. It suggests it's more this time, although Eddie Peterson may have managed to shake off Michael Cullen. Cullen very late in the brakes. Victor Cullen next through, Trevor Farrar. InsureMyCars.ie car of David Maguire Jr. This is almost a clear lap for Peterson. We might see what his pace is like here. I think Michael Cullen's left him alone for 6 or 7 corners maybe. I wonder, can he balance the gap? 6 dead for McDonald, 6.2 for Peterson, 6.6 for Cullen, 7.3 for Victor Cullen, 7.4 for Trevor Farrar, 7.6 for David O'Brien, and 7.6 again for Keane O'Brien. So the gap opening out again, it's now 1.7 seconds. Cullen's back in there again, a strong run to turn 3, almost within stabbing distance once again of Eddie Peterson. They haven't been near each other. This will be a telling lap. I think Graham McDonald has got that extra bit of pace on them because they're not interlocked anymore, and he's still got 2/10 on Eddie Peterson on the last lap. We'll watch it again, through the left, through the right. McDonald looking very strong here. Hard on the brakes, down to second gear. Gets it, a little bit of a hop there, but just balancing it on the edge. These cars, if you go in too quick, they can get the ST hops. They can bounce around just a little bit like most stiffly sprung saloon cars, and you really don't want that to happen. It costs you a lot of time. The only thing you can do is lift off the power and wait for the car to settle. So they go by that. Oh, Michael Cullen, fastest lap, and Michael Cullen, big lunge down the inside of Eddie Peterson. So Cullen with fastest lap, a 1 minute 5.960, and that's 3/10 quicker than the leader and 3/10 quicker than Eddie Peterson last time round. So no damage evident from the contact with, well, bar a little bit of black marks down the side of the car. No suspension damage, I'd imagine. He's very quick, Michael Cullen, in this one. The LOH Motorsport car hunting down the Murray Motorsport car of Eddie Peterson. Cullen very much on form, so that battle is far from over. I thought Eddie Peterson was going to inch away, but that's a big chunk, 3/10 last lap. They're normally literally on the same 1/10 of a second, but Michael Cullen looking very, very good here as they come down into the S's again. Gap was still at 1.7 seconds, so Peterson matched Graham McDonald the last time around, but Cullen was clearly quicker than both of them. Victor Cullen still in 4th place, nobody near him. Graham McDonald now out onto the main straight again. Cullen still looking quite threatening, and he gets that run onto the main straight. He is close enough to have a look here. Eddie Peterson will be very aware of this and surely will stay to the right as they come under the bridge. That's what he does, but he opens the door at the last minute. Cullen decides not to do anything about it down the outside this time, looking for a better run on the way out, which will also save the front tyres. Might play into his hands in the latter stages of the race. If you're scrapping with someone in a front-wheel drive car on one of these semi-slick tyres, you're just taking the life out of your tyres. You'll pay for it in the last few laps. So which Graham McDonald won't, and there we go. Down the inside goes Michael Cullen. Well, there was a little bit of contact, but the door was wide open, I think, there. I'm surprised that Eddie Peterson, who keeps the shoe in, Eddie Peterson could get this back. He does get it back. Well, maybe Michael Cullen just lifted out of that one. Maybe he was a bit naughty. I'm not so sure, but certainly whatever happened there. I mean, maybe we'll be able to have a look at that one later on, but certainly the door looked wide open. Cullen sliced down the inside. Cullen very wide there at the S's for some reason. Kicking up a little bit of dust on the outside. Where's he got a problem? He's dropping back quite a lot. So here we go again. Eddie Peterson goes out to take the racing line. Cullen says thank you down the inside into second gear. They contact as Eddie turns in. And then Eddie Peterson gets on the power, round the outside. Cullen goes off on the right-hand side. Cullen went onto the grass on the right-hand side as Peterson went off on the outside. So I'm not sure what happened there, but Peterson gets back there. So back to live now, but yeah, hard to work that one out. I have to chat to those guys at lunchtime and see what they made of it, but certainly it's all spread out now. It's not like an ST race at all. Michael Cullen has dropped way back. He's dropped way back. In fact, a very slow lap from last time around, 108.9. He's 5.9 is his quickest, so 3 seconds off his fastest lap, Michael Cullen. So obviously a problem for Michael Cullen. Wonder has he got a puncture or has he bent the suspension or something? Front left. He's not heading for the pits anyway. None of this bothering Graham O'Donnell in the Coffee to Go on Barnes Autohouse car as he comes down to complete another lap. And it's Eddie Peterson. Let's have a close look at Cullen's car in third place, Michael Cullen's car, because there's obviously something wrong. Victor Cullen chasing him down now, as we saw yesterday in the Strikers race here. They finished 1-2 yesterday, the two LOH cars. Michael Cullen's lap time this time round, 109.3, slower again. He's heading for 4 seconds off his lap time. Wonder what is wrong. Can't see anything visually there. It's absolute dominance out front from Graham McDonald, isn't it? And Eddie Peterson next up. Eddie Peterson still lapping within a few tenths of the leader. Michael Cullen still holding off Victor Cullen, but Victor is definitely closing him down. I think Michael Cullen has picked up the pace because Victor was 2 seconds quicker than him 2 laps ago. Doesn't look 2 seconds quicker now. Come out of the S's, Victor using all the road there, trying to get a run. Oh, Michael's waving him by down the inside, son. Thanks, Dad. Victor gets the ST hops up the inside. Oh yeah, is there something askew in the front of Michael Cullen's car? It was side by side down the straight. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of difference. It's Victor on the inside, Michael on the outside. Michael's still ahead as they go by me. But yeah, Victor down the inside again. Gets the job done. Cullen pulls in. Michael Cullen pulls in behind him to ride shotgun. I don't think he'll be quite so helpful if Dave McGuire Jr. tries to get by. Maybe he's just going to hang on to the back of Victor's bumper now for the remainder of this one. He looks every bit as quick now, doesn't he? So I'm not sure what was happening there. It was a 9 again the last time round. 6.3 for the leader, who's now 3.8 seconds to the good up front. Good battle behind this one actually, as Keane O'Brien has hauled in Trevor Ferrar, watching the right hand side of your screen here as we come down into the S's. There they are, he gets alongside him. Watching the background here as they come around the S's at the top of the screen. There you go, Keane O'Brien right on the back bumper of Trevor Ferrar now as they come out of the S's. Dave McGuire's looked down the inside. Cullen covers that. Ferrar has to defend now. Keane O'Brien goes high and wide to try and get a run at him onto the straight. 5.55, the Pro Tune car. Great run now, third gear. Ferrar, though, is pretty experienced. Came up from Zetec, has a lot more experience than Keane, who gets the run, though, on the main straight. Ferrar maybe a little bit too defensive and scrubbed off some speed. And Keane O'Brien using that speed to get alongside. Will he get round the outside? It's unlikely. Ferrar goes in late on the brakes and takes it back. Good battle between these two now. Door handler to door handler. O'Brien going back to the right to get a better run if he can through turn 2. So they're very, very closely matched. We're looking at their lap times here. In fact, they've been within a tenth of each other for the last couple of laps. Around the outside of turn 3 perhaps, but it takes the better of it. Comes back to the inside. Has a look at the inside, but Ferrari then goes to the inside and covers that one. And then down to second gear again. Oh, and David McGuire Jr. has got by Michael Cullen in front of this one. He must have got some tips from his dad. Anyone getting by Michael Cullen has to work for it, but Michael Cullen clearly struggling with some sort of an issue on that car. Victor Cullen up the inside of Christopher Grimes Jr. Obviously in trouble. He'd normally be up there in the top 4 or 5, so obviously a problem with that car as he comes down onto the main straight. The Churchtown Motor Company car staying to the outside. Checkered flag is being prepared, so they suspect side by side again for these two as they start their last lap. Keane O'Brien on the outside, Farrar on the inside. Keane O'Brien has got the nose ahead. He is ahead as they go into the braking zone. He tries to get in front, but he leaves racing room, crucially. And side by side again on the way out. It's good, hard racing between these two. But Keane O'Brien, no contact. And Farrar repays it to him here, gives him racing room. And they're still side by side, all the way from the final corner. They're now heading out towards turn 3. That's half a lap. O'Brien round the outside, the first bit of turn 3. Oh, that's brave stuff if he can get across the bows. I think he can on the last lap. He's got the move done eventually. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And the leader now heading up towards the final corner. Trevor Farrar still battling, but it's Graham McDonald. Checkered flag is prepared. Here comes our winner, Graham McDonald from pole position. Great stuff there. We were almost getting caught up in that battle down the field. Great to watch. So let's see who it is. It's Graham McDonald takes the win. It's Peterson second. Victor Cullen's gone off at the last corner. Victor Cullen has gone off onto the gravel. Rejoins just behind his dad. Just outbraked himself. So it's Maguire. It's Michael Cullen, Victor Cullen, and a great drive from Keane O'Brien to get by Trevor Farrar on the last lap. Then it's Gordon Kellett. And then, is it Christopher Grimes Sr. next up? That's Christopher Grimes Jr. who's a lap down. So good entertainment all the way to the flag. I thought they were going to be spread out a little bit more than that. I'll have to do a little bit of research and find out what happened in that race with Michael Cullen and Eddie Peterson. Certainly there's a number of place swaps there when they came together, but the checkered flag has been waved, and the winner from pole position is the class sponsor and the reigning champion for Coffee to Go. It's Graham McDonald. Second place is Eddie Peterson, the championship leader, and he will remain leader and increase his championship lead. And then it is David Maguire, then Michael Cullen back ahead of Victor Cullen, and Keane O'Brien in 6th, Trevor Farrar, Gordon Kellett, Gary Lynch, Christopher Grimes Sr. and Christopher Grimes Jr. So there you go. Fastest lap is for Graham McDonald, 105.982. Eddie Peterson 6.2. Michael Cullen 5.9, a 6.0. So Michael Cullen was every bit as quick as Graham McDonald, just didn't really work out for him. So interesting stuff and difficult conditions. It's very, very warm out there on track. Well, there you go. That's the Coffee to Go Fiesta St Championship, and that's pretty much us done until after lunch. But go away and have a cup of tea and a sandwich, but do come back, because after lunch, the fastest racing cars in Ireland are out on track. The Finstown Castle Gaswise Formula Boss Ireland cars, and there's a chance that they can break the outright lap record here at Mondello Park. They've done it already this year. They may do it again here today at Mondello Park. The Legends are back out. The Fiesta Z-Techs are back out. Formula V, the Selco.ie Formula V Championship for the first time in 2022. Join us here on the live stream. They will give us plenty of excitement and plenty of action. Mark my words. Then we will have Coffee to Go Fiesta ST Race 2. The Boss Cars again. We'll finish out with the third and final race today, the Irish Legends Cars Championship. That's all to come this afternoon at the Digital Motorsports ICCR Round 3 at Mondello Park.
Every day is a chance to make this world your own. Just watch out for those you share it with. My world, my station, my music.
Square left onto loose. Yeah, that's good. Good drive. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Rev it up, rev it up. Roger, go, go, go. One right, immediately followed by a 5 right. Keep it left, keep it left, keep it left. Come on, come on, keep on, keep on. Keep on, keep on, keep on. Come on, come on, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Well, we've only just announced it, but everybody is talking about this car behind me. It's the Junior Mini Challenge for the ICCR here at Mondello Park. An exciting new saloon car series from 14 to 17-year-old drivers. Lift off, oversteer, bumper to bumper racing. We're going to have it all this year at Mondello Park. It's the new Junior Mini Challenge.